Hey everyone, this is Dr. Neal Schwartz. Today I'm going to bring you a very exciting new innovation in the acne practice. This invention is an efficient and easy way to evaluate your own skin condition and the progress of your treatment regardless of what treatment you are on. I call it Acne Analytics, and it represents a new clinical software innovation that will help us with the treatment and evaluation of acne. The first thing we're going to do is upload a photo. This photo can be of the face, body, up close, far away, any photo you think is focused and can capture the problem you're having. Hit upload. I have one here I called Analytics. And load it up. It'll take different times depending on how clear and big the photo is. This is a picture of day one of a client that is in the Acne Bootcamp program right now. She's given me permission to use this photo to help you today, and we're going to evaluate her acne situation. Obviously, it is very serious. This is a significant case, and she has been suffering for a very, very long time. I can scan the photo by just moving the cursor to the edges of the photo. If it doesn't go anywhere, that means we're at the edge. So for this one, to fit in the dimensions, it scans up and down. When we zoom in further, I'll show you we can go in all different directions. Before we get started in the evaluation of her skin, I think it's very important to note the picture quality here. The reason I'm using this as an example is because even when I zoom in, which is over here, this is the zoom magnifying glass, 1, 2, 3, and 4 for now. Now you see I can scroll everywhere. Before we even get into it, notice the quality of this picture. It's highly focused, and when we zoom in, it doesn't get too fuzzy, and we can see even the tiniest bumps. See that one right there? We're going to be talking about those. See that one right there? Your photo that you take will need to be able to capture these tiny bumps that I'm pointing out right now. That would be the most important thing of your photo. To do this, take the photo from a little further back and hold very still. Sometimes it helps to sit in a chair, put the camera on a table, prop it up, and put it on timer. If you move your body even an inch to the left or right, or if you move the camera even so slightly, you can lose this perfect focus. Even an inexpensive camera that's not very sophisticated can take a highly focused photo if held extremely still. So keep that in mind. Okay, let's get started in our evaluation. Obviously, we have a lot of work to do. I have us zoomed in 2 times, and we're going to start counting the bumps by clicking every bump we see. Now notice this one right here. I'm going to show you that one. Notice this one. These are the important ones to count. Look at these tiny ones. These are the ones that you're going to need a highly focused photo to capture. And if you want, you can go 3 times zoom or even 4 times if you can't see them. Sometimes when you get too close, you can't see where you are. So let's try 3. Alright. Notice how the counter in the upper right there is counting every time I click a bump, so you don't have to count them yourself. And that is the efficiency of this innovation. Whoa. So if you're zooming all over the place and getting frustrated with that, just zoom back out a little bit. If you make a mistake like I just did, go over to here. Here's your circle, your plus, and your erase button. If you keep hitting that scroll and you don't want to, come off and on a little faster. I'm going to erase these marks. You can zoom in if it's too hard to hit them. And this was the one I made a mistake on. So, swing off quickly if you don't want to scroll. If you do want to scroll, come to the edge. Swing off quick. Alright, back to our dots. See, I came on slow, that's why it scrolled. Alright, so let's continue. Look at the little ones. These are the ones that you really have to take time with. If you have a significant case of acne, this initial evaluation could take up to 45 minutes to an hour, and that'll be fine. This is a medical problem you're suffering with. You're going to put whatever time's needed to tackle your problems so that we're not stuck complaining about things that are treatable. Look at these little ones in here. These are the important ones. Now people ask me, what should I count? We're not counting. What we're not counting is flat red marks that have no bump within them. If a red mark has a bump within it like that, we are counting. So count that. Don't count that. These are slight three-dimensional wear and tear. We're not counting that. We're talking about all the active tiny bumps. Here's another tiny one. Can you see that little one right there? I'll zoom in closer so you can see some of these really small ones. This one right here. Even though it doesn't look like much, there's a small dome there, pinhead-sized bump. That's a bump. You want to count that. You want to count that. Any big one just counts as one, unless it has two heads to it. I like the 2x zoom on her photo the best for now, but you can keep playing with your amount of zoom. Notice how it's still counting for us, so we can take our time. It's difficult sometimes when you have a little bit of three-dimensional scarring, a little wear and tear, where the bump is. Now these are more inactive wear and tears, except for right there. Sometimes there's a bump that will hang out on the edge of that. Keep looking though. It's a little bit tricky sometimes. You do your best. The more focus you have, the easier, the less guessing you'll have to do. These big ones you can just count as one. We can change the size of the zoom, you know, if we want to capture a big one, and it'll still count as just one. But that's, right now we're going to keep it to the size we need. Oops. Maybe a little smaller. You can adjust this to very small too. If you have a crop of tiny ones, you can go really, really small with this. Let's go a little smaller. Go there. Maybe there. Okay. Let's go back out and see where we're at. Let's go back all the way out and see where we're at. Alright. You can also change the color if you want. Right now, black is working for me. When you change, you'll see it'll follow you. Okay, let's zoom in down here a little bit. Let's go down a little bit. So we're still assessing this day one situation. Look at this little tiny bump. That's the one you want to count. Look at this one right here. You see that one? It's pretty fun, especially if it's on your own face. You can really learn a lot about your own face and really take a close look at your face for maybe for some people the first time in a long time. Maybe the first time ever. And really accept the situation that has accumulated. Sometimes it's hard to accept. We're all in a bit of acne denial sometimes. And this new innovation will help you see what is real and see what's going on, you know, what has been going on for a long time and what is still continuing to go on without any denial or confusion. Try to make it objective. We try to give it an objective number. That's what the innovation is. We're going to try to turn a very emotional situation here into a very objectified one that is scientific. It really is irrefutable. And so if we do this right, which is a big if there, you have to take good photos and you have to spend time to do this. If you do this properly, if I can make it, you know, fun and you can do it right, this is pretty fun actually. It's like playing an old school video game. See these tiny ones? Let's go a little closer. See these tiny ones? These little heads, these little pinheads, you have to count them because they are bumps that are already stuck in the face and we need to grieve over them because they're already there and they're not going anywhere just this minute. If something's scabbed or ripped, we'll count it if it has any sort of bumpiness or liveness to it. The only ones we don't count are the ones that are flat and dead, flat and inactivated, or grooved and inactivated. But if anything looks like it might have a small bump in it, we find it. Even these little pearly pinhead ones are the ones you got to worry about. See that one right there, little pearly pinhead one? Gotta look close. Let's go to 4x zoom on that, see if we can get it. See it? Okay. 4 times zoom. See that little pearly pinhead right there? You gotta, if you have a little pearly pinhead right there, you gotta count that. That's a bump. That's a very small, very significant bump, because that can turn into a big one, and you have to know what's going on in your face. Alright, so here you have an example of how Analytics has just counted 172 bumps on one side of her face, and it would have been very difficult for her to count these up without the program, or by hand, or with a magnifying mirror, which is another way you can do it at home. But to count them and keep track of them, it's very difficult. And sometimes just to give you an example of what we've done, there's a button over here called Hide Markers. You can hit that button and see where you were to begin with. And then just kind of compare, make sure your dots are on the right spots, make sure you're doing a good job counting. You know, really appreciate the work that you're doing here in evaluation. You're really getting to know your face. Look at this area right here when I do the markers on and off. It really shows you what we're evaluating here. See, in this area right here, there's a lot of small ones you can't really appreciate, but then when you put the markers on and off, you can kind of see where they are. Can you see that? Does a good job. If you upload more photos, they'll show up here as tabs. And even though the number corresponds to each photo for now, you can, when you email me, it will show the total number if you're doing different sections of the face or different parts of the body. So to send me the photo, if you'd like to send me the photo, hit email Dr. Neal, and it says, your Acne Analytics session has been saved. To send the results to Dr. Neal, place your email address in the box below and double check for any typos. After you click send to Dr. Neal, you'll be redirected to the email system where you can further describe your current situation. Put your email in here and check and make sure it's correct and send it to me here. You can get these boxes out of here by hitting this X. This play demo will be this video I'm making right now. We've also created an embed button which you can use to put this software on your own website. If you have a health, skin, acne, or healing website, you want to help people transform their lives, and it's a great innovation that can be used by anyone.